Hey, good evening, good evening. I'm your host, Siobhan. Welcome to Expression Mode on Groove Radio Detroit. This is episode 7, and I just want to give you a rundown of how to stay tuned in with us and to call us on our hotline. You can watch us here on GrooveRadioDetroit.com/media. Again, that's GrooveRadioDetroit.com/media. Also, we have our live chat on Groove Radio Detroit, Twitch.tv on Groove Radio DET. For more information to be a guest on my show, submit music. Yes, I am looking for some intro music. And also, if you are an artist, submit your music and I'll let you know where to submit that to. Also, you can submit comedy, promote your business, or if you want to be a sponsor on Expression Mode, please email me at info@ShavonMoore.com. I'll give you the spelling. That's info@Shavon, SHAVONNE, Moore, MOORER.com. Now, with further ado, I have a guest, my good friend Desmond Lester. Some of them know him by Kid Clever, or he did drop his kid on his name, so he goes by Clever now. But I call him Des. So what's up, Des?
What up, though? What up, though? It's an honor to be here.
Thank you.
Always been doing your thing. Episode number 7, lucky number 7.
Yes.
So we in here. We in here,
of course. So for my audience, and for those out there that don't know too much about you, but yes, he is a videographer. Every time I see this guy, he always got a video camera in his hand. But tell people more about what it is that you do.
Well, my name is, like she said, Desmond Clever Lester. I started off working in radio. That was the first thing that always captivated me. I met Mason in the 4th grade, and I've always been the person that always knew like facts about different artists or different people in entertainment. And Granny be like, why do you know this stuff about all these people?
Right.
Why do you know this person's middle name? And a bunch of information that I thought was useless, but that always, it always piqued my interest.
How did you get started in radio?
I got started in radio, like I said, I met Mason in the 4th grade. He gave me the opportunity to come up to the radio station, but my mom never took me to the radio station. I was never able to make it, but it always was in my mind, like, man, I can go to the radio station.
Right. And How old were you at the time?
I was like 9, 10.
Really?
9,
wow.
10.
Okay.
So when that happened, then from there, I got to OCC. And we were in the cafeteria. And one of my friends was like, yo, I just got hired at
That's
WJLB.
Oakland Community College. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Oakland Community College for the people outside of, the city.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I just got hired at WJLB, and we looking for an intern.
And this was Mason at the time?
No, this was my boy Markel Lane. Shout out to Markel. That's my boy.
Shout out to Markel.
And he was like, hey, man, bring your resume in. Chris Kelly, she's looking for an intern.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. Got over there, interned with her for about 8 or 9 months. Then I ended up getting with Dr. Darius, producing his show for like 3 years.
That's
Helped
awesome.
him get his show to the top rated 6 to 10 show in the city.
Is that when Reggie Reg was on the radio at the time? When Dr. Darius was there, or way before that?
This was after.
Okay.
Yeah, Darius got the 6 to 10 spot. We clicked, and I learned a lot. Shout out to Darius, being up under him.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to go to that next level. I wanted my own radio show, but it's so hard to get on the radio here in the city of Detroit, because those jobs are so great. They pay well, and once people get in them seats, they don't want to get out them seats.
I know, right?
Bushman been on the radio since I was a kid.
Okay.
But I can't blame him though, because it's a good spot, good money. The city, so. And that's how I got to my next venture.
Okay.
Which was Clever Vision.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so we'll talk about that. I got started in radio too.
Really?
Yep. It was at the high school show, which was at WDTR. I was a program assistant there for several months until I got into being a video youth producer for Scoop Production. Okay. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so you drifted off into, you first started in radio and then started Clever Vision. When did Clever Vision get started?
So, like I was saying before, I'm like, man, I want my own show. I want to do this. The thing about radio is great, but it's restrictions. Everything you want to do on radio, you got to ask. You got to ask the program director, can I bring this person up to interview? Can I do that? And I didn't like that.
Right.
And so while I was there, I'm like, man, it's a whole world wide web out here. So the Canon T2Is just came out, the small Canons that you can get like quality HD footage, 1080 footage, and put it on YouTube. So I end up buying a camera, and I'm like, man, I want my own show. And I was like, man, I went and I was like, man, Clever Vision. So we came up with the name Clever because I switched over from Young Dez at the time to being called Clever.
Right.
And so with that, we started Clever Vision, started doing interviews with different celebrities throughout the city, building relationships with record label execs, which allowed me to have access to artists, and from your Young Jeezys to Big Sean to some of everybody, Candy Birds.
So building those relationships, you was able to interview major celebrities and whatnot. So that was cool.
Yeah, no, that was great, and it was like, wow, I found out I really could do it. Like working with Darius, I was producing the show, so I was writing a lot of his questions and helping come up with guests or whatever. But now it was the questions that I wrote, I could ask the artists or the people in the industry myself. So that was super dope.
And how long have you been doing Clever Vision? How long has your business been established?
I started Clever Vision in 2010, and
it's almost 20 plus years now.
No, what's that? How many years? No, that's
about 10
12.
years. 10,
That's 12.
10?
Yeah, that's
about 20 years. About 12 years.
Yeah,
okay.
like, I ain't that old. Wait a minute now. No, but yeah, I started Clever Vision like 12 years ago.
Okay.
And it's been going pretty good. I took a break from doing the interviews for a minute because I got over into doing the comedy shows and stuff like that.
Right.
So that was kind of hard to balance both at the same time. But yeah.
So do you still, then that's Going Up Comedy, right?
Yep, the Going Up Comedy Show.
So how often, are you still focusing on that now, or will there be any go ahead.
I missed that.
Bug, our producer, said he missed that.
Man, yeah, I love the comedy show, and the thing about it, like, now since we ain't did it, we started that in 2014.
Okay.
Then we went to like the end of 2019, right before COVID or whatever. So we had a great run. So people don't be like, "How you been?" They're like, "Man, when you doing the comedy show? When you bringing the comedy show?" But I'm like, "Man, I'm doing great, thank you.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
I'm doing okay out here." But yeah, it was a great run, and I'm looking to potentially bring it back in the fall.
That's
like,
cool.
I ain't told nobody that,
Really?
so you getting exclusive.
Yes. He said he's gonna bring back the Going Up Comedy back this fall. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we looking to do it, and the reason why I came up with the Going Up Comedy Show was because I hosted like a lot of open mics like throughout the city, like working in radio and stuff.
Right.
But I wanted to do an event where I could get out the name Clever Vision every week.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, I don't want to do no open mic. I don't want to just deal with a bunch of rappers and stuff like that, which is cool.
You wanted to focus on comedy.
I wanted to do something to make the city laugh. Like, I wanted to give good vibes, good energies. Open mics are always, great. But I was doing a lot of rap open mics, so it was a lot of tension. Everybody hard, don't nobody want to speak to each other. So I'm like, man, I want to be around people smiling, having a good time, and it was a way to get the name out. And I linked up with shout out to my bro comedian Josh Adams. He became the host, and man, it just took off. Like DJ Cool Breeze was the DJ, and it was a
Cool
great
Breeze.
look. Great look.
He's a hot DJ.
Yeah, that's my dog. That's my dog.
So yeah, because I know a lot of comedians, and they're doing a lot of their shows now. So that will be really neat to have them a part of Going Up Comedy. So as far as when you started, what sparked your interest? Although you knew, you met the icons at an early age. What sparked your interest of wanting to be in the media sector and speaking to different celebrities or local comedians and whatnot?
Because I think for me the big thing was like it's always questions. I always got questions I wanted to know, and like the people I was watching do interviews and media, they weren't asking the questions that I wanted to know the answers.
And then sometimes we would turn on the radio and like, that's all you asked them. Like, I want to hear some more. What's
So
going
are
on
you
with
single?
this?
Like whoa, like we need to know more than that. Like, I want to go deeper than that. So yeah.
Right. So as a videographer, have you more so focused on just with celebrities and local based projects, or has it been a variety of things? How has that been?
See, the reason why that started, like I didn't when I started off, I didn't want to be a videographer. Like that's never what I wanted to do. The reason why I became a videographer is because I could not
To give
afford to
yourself an
pay.
outlet.
I couldn't afford to pay for the people to come film my interviews. So I went ahead and got a camera, got a MacBook Pro, and just started learning. Just started learning how I had friends that had cameras and stuff like that. I was into it. Shout out to Myron Watkins. He helped me out. Like when I first started, like, okay, this is how you work the camera. This is how you do that.
Yeah.
And then from there, once I got that under my belt, I started working with friends that were rappers. They're like, oh, you got a camera. You shoot my rap video. So that turned into that, from the interviews to doing rap videos to covering other events. Shout out to Boog, open mic jams. Been able to cover that.
Right.
And just, tell stories. Like, I realized in the long run, that's what my calling is. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm doing interviews, I'm doing that. I'm like, no, I like to tell stories. And I like to take a story that somebody might not see as super important and tell the story from my point of view and show the beauty in it.
Right.
And it's like, wow, I never looked at that like that.
That's cool.
Especially stories from the city of Detroit. Detroit, we always get a bad rep over the media or over everywhere. So it's like, man, I want to be able to, tell our story the way I see the city.
That's good. That's
So,
good.
yeah.
And also to take it from a perspective where people can get more knowledge and more emphasis on who you're, covering. So that's really cool. How has it over the years, as being in your background in radio and being on the camera, how has things transpired as far as how has things completely changed? Because I know we kind of have similar backgrounds, and I know when I started in video production, things have drastically changed. And I don't want to speak of the TikToks of the world, but things have really opened up a lot more. What's your perspective on that?
Man, I think just social media. Like when I started, Facebook was just really getting started.
Right.
MySpace was a thing, but now you really have access to these people that you you can
Right.
literally write Barack Obama on Instagram, and it's a chance he may respond.
Right.
Or you
right.
may write Will Smith or whoever the hottest Young Thug. Well, not Young Thug right now.
And
excuse
people,
me.
steadily
But-
going viral.
Yeah. So it's just you have access to the people, and you can really create your own thing. When I started, it was just radio,
Right.
and you needed radio. If you weren't on the radio, well,
It's like
oh well.
you ain't hot. So what's going on? Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So now you can just get off, and people are becoming millionaires just off of Instagram alone. So it's just TikTok, Instagram. So I think it's a lot better, and it's a lot more opportunities, but with those opportunities come a lot more competition, because everybody has a podcast now. You don't
Right,
have to go to
exactly.
school. You don't have to go to school for radio. You don't have to be in it. You got the opportunity. If you got a microphone, you can
And that's what I
have
love
your
now.
podcast.
That's what I love now. I wish, when we both started, I wish the thought of oh, let me go have a podcast. And I know even then I started to speak on the radio because we had the high school show at WDTR. And just to look at that now, I'm like, man, I wish I would have known to have a podcast then. Now I'm like, oh, it's all hands on deck now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So as far as who do you see yourself working with?
Who do I see myself working with? Somebody just in the city or just
Just in
period?
general, who do you aspire to interview or work with, or
Some-
any production company or anyone in particular?
I rock with and I look up to a lot of the creatives that not only are in front of the camera but also behind the camera and giving opportunities to other people. So some of the people I rock with like that are Keenan Ivory Wayans, what he did with In Living Color, sparked the careers of Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, and Jennifer Lopez, and it goes on and on to your Robert Townsend, him being a black
Robert,
man.
Yes.
Creating the first black superhero, getting creating movies and putting other black up and coming actors, giving them opportunities. This man filmed his first movie with a credit card. He maxed out credit cards to create his own first movie. He wanted it that bad because Hollywood didn't give him the opportunity, and he put his people on. And then shout out to Nick Cannon. I really rock with him too. I feel like he's this generation version of a Keenan Ivory Wayans or
Right.
Robert Townsend, just giving people
Yeah, he
opportunities.
does a lot.
Yeah, and he,
Outside of his personal business, he does a lot.
he make a lot of babies too.
Right, that too.
Yeah. So
But as far as what he does, he really focuses on a lot when it comes to wilding out, to his Nick, his Nick brand, all that. So yeah, that's really dope.
And
just like with Eddie Murphy, and
Mm-hmm.
he has a list of movies that we really
Yeah.
are into. So
Yeah, Eddie's a genius. I would love to meet him too. Like I just like his character development. Like just being a fan of comedy and studying comedy, the way he can bring a character to life is just like no other. And that's just genius. And I would love to just pick his brain as well too.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyone locally that you want to work with?
Anybody locally that I want to work with? I feel like I've been blessed with the opportunity to work with a lot of dope people from the city, but I'm open to work with anybody that's good energy, that's building, that's on the come up. I like a lot of these new artists that's out here, that's doing their thing.
It's funny how you can know when the artist is from Detroit. I'm like, they sound like they from here.
Right.
Like I was surprised that I came across. I was listening to Pandora, and I saw. I don't know their name, but it was two guys that are rap artists here, and I was like, they on Pandora, really? Like I was like, that's what's up.
Oh, Detroit going crazy when it comes to like rap music. Like we really like the wave. Like it's us. Memphis is doing their thing. Atlanta is doing their thing. And Chicago. Like, but we really on that level now.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah.
So tell us more about Vision for Change, which is his foundation.
Okay. Yeah. I started Vision for Change. See, I'm the oldest of 3 kids, right? And I have a few older cousins, but I didn't really have a lot of like OGs or people that I considered to be mentors like growing up. And I'm like, it was super hard for me to like learn certain things, or it took me a little bit longer off trial and error. And I take it back to like video games. Like when I was growing up, like video games, I would play a game and it'd take me a month to beat a video game. And my little brother, who is like,
What video games was you playing?
man, like from Tomb Raider to Metal Gear Solid to all those games, like it would take a month to beat
Mortal
them.
Kombat, that was my game.
Yeah.
Hit Sonic. I'm like so basic.
See, I mean, but those fighting games, like you can beat a fighting game pretty quick, but like those long story games, it would take me forever to beat it. But my younger brother, like how much young? Joe might be 13 years younger than me. He had played those same video games that I was playing that was taking me a month and beat them in a week.
What?
And I'm like, how the hell are you doing this? He's like, oh, because I just go right on YouTube and I watch step-by-step tutorials
Really?
and beating
Out
the
there
game.
cheating.
I'm like, man, that's whack. That's weak, man. That ain't how you play video
Cheating.
games. But I related that to life. It was just like, if you have somebody showing you steps to take, like step-by-step take, you would get to the finish line a lot quicker.
Right.
And so I'm like that with youth. Like especially young men. Like I really, like we women get a lot more outlets, and they have aunties in their lives. A lot of us come up with no fathers. I didn't meet my father till I was 13, and just with that, they have a special place in my heart, and I just like to like work with them, give them whatever game, whatever information. I just want to make it a little bit easier for them than it was for me.
So it's an organization focusing on young men to help them mentor?
Men and young women, mentoring ages 13 through 21.
That's awesome.
I like to help them find out, what their gifts are and turn their gifts into their purpose.
That's
and from their
cool.
purpose, allow them to turn it into income.
Is there a way others can help donate or be a part of your foundation?
Absolutely. You can email me at Vision for Change. That's VIZIONFOR change @gmail.com. Again, that's VIZIONFOR change @gmail.com. So yeah, I'm open to work with whoever. Like I just want to be able to help. And like I said, help the next generation. Like that's what I want my legacy to be. I want to be able to, be somebody that always had good energy and always helped when he could. So especially with the youth, like that's where my heart is.
That's good. That's really good. To really give back to the community as well as uplifting on the young kids, because like you said, there's some that may not have, any figure in their life that they can look up to. So they have this type of program where they can help them, guide them in the direction that they need to take. So that's really awesome. And so on a side note, I do see that you do travel a little bit, and you have been doing some interviews out of state too. So any places before the year is up that you want to go to as far as work related or non-work related?
I've never been to Houston. Like I really want.
Never been to Houston.
I've never been to Houston. I want to get
This
down
man
to.
ain't never been to Houston.
I want to get to Houston. I want
Okay.
to get to New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans.
New
and
Orleans is fun. In Houston is fun
Yeah,
too.
I've been to Atlanta, but I need to go back and really like pound the payment and just network and build relationships.
Okay. I got to tell you about this organization I'm with later, but yeah, I'm going to tell you more about that. So you want to go to Atlanta, Houston, and New Orleans.
Right.
Okay, cool. Some nice spots. Any places outside of the U.S.?
Outside of the U.S., my sister being on my head about Tulum, so I want to
Okay.
check out Tulum. Where else do I want to go? I want to go to Greece. Greece has always been appealing to me.
Greece, yeah.
So those are like two of the main places I want to go.
I didn't have my dang on passport for like the longest. Hey, people over there
Right.
on Desmond's Live.
What up,
What's
though?
up?
What up, though?
So yeah, I know for a while it's been hard for me to try to figure out where I want to go, because I know first I'm like, I want to go to Egypt. No, I don't want to go to Egypt. I'm going to go to Dubai. No, I'm not going to go to Dubai. So now I was like, well, I did have Greece in mind too, but now I think I want to go to Costa Rica and of course hit up Mexico.
Yeah, no, Costa Rica fire too, and that's somewhere else I want to go. Man, I just want to just travel.
Okay, exactly.
I just want to just see this whole world. The thing I like about traveling is wherever I go, I always learn something to come back creative. I always have a creative idea that I didn't have before I left. So
Right. So I know last time we spoke, you said that you were building a studio. Have you still built? Are you done with that, or are you still in the middle of getting everything together?
we still in the process. Of course I told you, I mentioned I do the Clever Vision interviews, and I want my own set. So I put finances together, and I'm building out my own set.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. So that way I can go full throttle, relaunch my interviews, and really help tell these stories out here. I feel like Detroit is a market that is great and dope. Everything you're doing with your show.
Thank you.
We just need more of it, because
Exactly.
we let for so long we let so many people outside of Detroit tell our stories. So it's just like it's nobody that's going to tell your story like you're going to tell your story. Like if I had somebody, like if you had your house and somebody needed a tour around your house showing where everything is, who else better to show your house other than you?
Right.
It's nobody else that's gonna do it. Somebody else be like, oh yeah, watch your step or da 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 da. But it's just like it's not gonna have the same love and care because it's yours. It's your own house. Yeah.
So as far as your studio goes, I know you did say that you want to focus on documentaries, right? In which we're gonna hopefully partner up and do a documentary together. I have some ideas about that. So also too, will you be able to rent out a space for people that want to come to your studio, or is it just your studio alone? for you?
As of right now, the focus is just on Clever Vision stuff, but I want to expand it to where I start giving other people opportunities to share their voices as well too. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, and so as far as with Clever Vision, will you be branching off to other, besides the documentaries? Would the documentaries be based on just like entertainment based, culture based, or a variety of different documentaries, or is it just a project that you're focusing on right now?
Just interesting stories that move me. I don't want to do or deal with any stories that don't move me. If something speaks to me, I want to be able to help share the story. Like I do a lot of stuff with a guy from the city of Detroit named Kurt McGirt, who was a part of YBI, and we're doing a lot of stuff in the community, working with youth and building. So we're working on telling his story too. So that's gonna be big.
You know, I think it would be really cool because I know a couple of mentors and a lot of men that help other young men that do or do not have father figures in their life, or just need a positive role model. I think y'all should all get together and have like a powwow for all the young men to come, young women too, to come, and where you can have a little conference for them. That would be really nice, because I've seen one like that, but that would be really dope for like you all as mentors to come together to have something like that. That would be really dope.
I'm all for it. Whoever I can network with or whoever you bring, I trust you and your energy and your vibe. I'm down to work with anybody positive that's doing their thing out here.
Cool. Thank you. And so as far as Okay, so this is what I wanted to know. Why did you drop the name Kid from Kid Clever, and where did Clever come from?
Okay. Can I tell you a quick story before that?
Yep, I want to know.
So, my name is Desmond, as I mentioned, and when I worked at the radio station, it was another Des there named DJ DDT. They also call him Des.
Mm-hmm.
And they would be looking for me at the radio station. They'd be like, "Where Des at?" They'd be like, "Which one? The old Des or the young Des?"
Wow, that's
and they'd be
funny.
like, "Oh, the young Des." So I'm like, "Young Jeezy, young Des." So everybody started calling me Young Des throughout the city.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, no, I wanted the identity. And I've always been someone that looked at stuff creatively, like from not better, but just different than other people.
Mm-hmm.
So it was always clever.
Okay.
And I was just like, I've always looked a lot younger than what I was. So they was like, who's this little kid y'all got at this radio station? So I came up with Kid Clever.
Okay.
So which was super dope, and it was catchy. I had never heard nobody use that name before, and I'm just like, that's me. I was able to brand that, and then from
like
that,
Kid Ink.
yeah, like Kid, and this was before I had ever heard of Kid Ink.
Okay.
That I was saying. Only other kid I knew was Kid and Play.
Right.
I knew a Babyface, but I just knew and Kid and Play. But
Right.
From that, I'm like, I started getting older and maturing, and I'm just like talking to a bunch of my older homies. They was like, bro, you want people to respect you as a man. You're not a kid no more. You've been doing this for 10 plus years, and da 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 da. I'm like, you right.
Just like
Bow Wow.
See, we was
Beat to
reading
the
each other's
old
names.
Shaq.
Right. Like
Shout out Morris.
like he little Bow Wow. Now he's like, no, I'm about to drop the little off of. Now I'm go by Bow Wow. Yep, same difference.
Yeah, because words have power and value in them. So it's just like you want to be careful with what you allow people to call you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I dropped the Kid, and it's been Clever like ever since, because that's just what I want to be known as, someone that's clever, unique, intelligent.
Cool.
So that's where that came from. And so yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be funny. I'm not gonna be ready to fight if somebody called me Kid Clever. I went by and branded that for so long,
Mm-hmm.
but I prefer Clever or Desmond.
Okay.
So yeah.
Or Des. No,
Yep.
I call him Des. Just me.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So, do you have any highlights of throughout your career?
Highlights out of my career. Last summer was a big highlight. Well, it was two big highlights last summer.
Okay.
So I told you we do the Going Up comedy show,
Mm-hmm.
and the dude that was real played a big part in my life, impacted me, was a comedian from the city named Comedian Kool-Aid. That's how I first got introduced to comedy, like stand-up comedy locally. He came to our high school and did a show at our high school, and I'm like, wow, he's always dope. Then fast forward 10 years later, we started doing the Going Up comedy show, and comedian Josh Adams had a close relationship with him, and he would always come to our show, give me game, give me advice, like, yeah, you might want to do this, or you ever thought about doing this like that, or this dope, I like what y'all doing. Whenever he could come through and bless the show, he would always do that. And unfortunately, we lost him to cancer in 2000 and what year was it, 18? And so I was able to partner.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace to my dude, man. And like, he touched so many lives. I was able to power with the city of Detroit and put a mural at Baker's Keyboard Lounge.
Oh, that's
in
beautiful.
In his honor, with Vision for Change, we partnered with the city of Detroit. Shout out to Mary Sheffield for helping bring that to life. But it was super dope. All the comedians came out. We was able to give a plaque, to his mother in his honor, his sister.
That's
and
good.
it was super dope. So that was a big highlight, because I felt fulfilled, because he deserved that.
Right. That's to be able to give back to his family and represent his honor. So that's good.
Yeah, I feel like if you play the game right, you deserve a mural, or you deserve something in your honor, like that lives beyond your years on this earth. Because we only here for a short.
He was like an icon here.
Definitely, he was the man. A lot of people don't know comedian Lil Duval's song "Living My Best Life."
Yes.
That was based on Kool-Aid.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because a lot of people didn't know. A lot of people didn't know he had cancer.
I did watch one of his Little Duval's show on All Black, and I think he did a tribute at the end for him.
Yep. Because his thing was like with comedian Kool-Aid, it was like, man, he was able to go through what he was going through, but still keep a smile on his face. He was like, so shoot, whatever I'm going through, how can I be upset? Whatever, I'm living my best life. I'm existing. Kool-Aid lived his best life, and so yeah, that was one thing that was huge. And another thing I got to do, Cartier reached out to me and my boy. Shout out to Nardo, my dude's incredible artist. They reached out to us to tell a Detroit story, through their lens. So we were able to partner up with Cartier and tell the Blade Icewood story. So we was talking about Blade Icewood impact on their eyewear and how big he was, and they
did y'all capture that on video through Clever Vision? No,
we did it. They had a team come in, but I pretty much directed everything, put everything together. I reached out.
Hear this? Wow.
And got Payroll to be a part of it, and Blade Icewood's son, Little Blade, and we were able to tell the story and pretty put on for the city, and it went in all the Cartier stores across the country. At Somerset Mall, they did a special installation in the mall. They built it, and it went up for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Really?
Just showing the video that we did.
You have to show me some video or photos from that too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, no, that was huge, and just like wow, like our story is that important.
Yeah.
And it's just like if you tell it the right way, the whole world will recognize how dope Detroit is. And
really?
That's all I want to do is just be known for helping other people and putting my city on and letting people know that this is the best city in the world to be from.
So all throughout your experience, have you encountered any wild occurrences or anything that just was like, did this really happen? Like any of those crazy moments, anything like that?
Give me an example. Like what type of...
anything crazy happened. Like, I didn't believe that this... Anything
crazy, unexpected. I was around for the whole Young Bird when he got his chain snatched in the city of Detroit. That was pretty crazy. So that was wild. What else through radio or whatever? The whole Rick Ross not being able to come in summer jams. I was around during that.
What happened? I forgot what happened about that.
It was the whole no-fly zone.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
They kind of like banned him from the city, didn't they?
Yeah.
Wow. They was like, you can't come here.
Yeah. Shout out to Trick. I get what he meant was like y'all coming to the city and y'all not paying back to the city or working with the artists or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I remember the reason behind that. Yeah.
I get that. Like artists do need to work with people in the city, but I think the approach could be a little bit different. But that shout out to Trick. I know he's gonna do what's best in his heart, but I definitely feel like people coming here, like we should continue to build with them and but not have them scared to come here. I don't like that because it's just like you want people to come here because that brings in more revenue to the city and build the whole city. People sign artists. You don't want them to be scared to come here because they can't sign the artists that's here if they are not here.
Right.
So
and
that was crazy.
That was crazy. Yeah, I can't think of any wild occurrences that I've come across. Yeah, people approach me with some wild stuff, but that's besides the point. What else right now that you want to pursue or down the line that you want to get into?
I want to write. Like I have a animated series. I can't go too in detail what it is, but it's a coming to age animated series with a Detroit base.
Anime or animated?
Animated.
Okay.
Animated series.
Okay.
So you think of like your Boondocks, your Bebe's Kids, and whatever.
Okay.
But that's something that I'm currently writing and working on, and it's just like telling stories and allowing other people to come in from the city or people that I rock with that are talented to bring them on board to make them voices of characters or just creating jobs and opportunities. Like I really rock with what Issa Rae is doing. Like she's able to create shows and put her friends on and put friends in positions to win, but it's all started from something in their mind. So just like a couple movie ideas and TV shows.
Okay.
I'm excited. That's on my next 5 years. Like I want to do.
What is your favorite aspect? Would it be music videos, documentaries, doing celebrity interviews, like throughout any of those aspects or anything outside of that? Is there anything that you really have a passion for or something that you really like the most?
Storytelling, just overall, just whatever storytelling. I enjoy the interviews. They all have a special place in my heart because I like the interviews because not only am I getting to know someone, but I'm also learning through their experiences. I enjoy that. I enjoy writing. I think I enjoy writing the most. Writing and putting together my own projects.
Okay. Because
like I said, like that's dope. Like something that's literally in my mind, I can give it to the world and they can digest it however they want to. Like I always want something like the TV. You remember the TV show Power? Did you watch any of that?
A little bit.
Like with Power, like I would go to the barbershop and people would be talking about it. The whole barbershop would be talking about it. And I'm like, wow, that's something that
You
came
want to
out
kind
of
of have that impact.
yeah, something came out of this woman's mind that got this whole barbershop talking about it and people
Right.
across the country. So
That is dope.
that's what that's where it was next. That's what's live to me. That's dope.
And you said that you have siblings. Is it brothers, sisters? How many sisters? How many brothers?
I have it's 3 of us. I'm the oldest. I have my sister Lena Brielle, and I have my brother Joe.
Okay.
So I'm the oldest of 3.
Are they all from Michigan?
All from here. Yeah.
Okay.
All from here.
You were born and raised on the west side, east side?
West side of
West
Detroit.
side,
West side
yes.
of Detroit, from Joy Road originally. Then through like middle school, I moved to Oak Park.
Okay.
Graduated from Oak Park High.
Oh, you went to Oakland? Okay, cool. And you went to OCC?
Yeah, then I ended up going to OCC for about 1.5 years. Then I transferred to Howard University in
I was
DC.
just about to say that. Didn't you go to an HBU school?
I went to Howard University. Was on the radio down there. It was a good look. I didn't finish there, but I went there. So I got their student loans, so it counted for something. That's
How
my
was the
diploma.
radio experience out there?
It was dope. It was definitely dope. Had our own show. It was heavy rotation. It was 3 of us on there.
Was it a college radio station or was it outside of the
College.
Okay.
It's the number 1 WHBCU. It was HBC. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's the number 1 college radio station, black college radio station in the country.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So it was dope. Like I said, got a lot of fun, a lot of practicing, and by me coming from like professional radio, like WJLB or whatever, like I was advanced.
And this
So-
was after you had already been in radio.
Yeah, I left after what was that? Like how old was I? I was like 19, 20. I left, but I had already started in radio at 18. So I left for a minute. Then I ended up coming back to the city and doing radio, working more in radio.
Did you what they say? Were you in a fraternity at all?
No, I didn't pledge.
Pledge?
No, I thought about it, but I'm like, nah.
If you were to pledge, what fraternity would you think you would want to be in?
I got a lot of my friends were Kappas.
Okay.
So I had thought about that, but I'm like, I'm not about to let nobody hit me or
Okay.
or just that ain't gonna work with me. But it's just I got a lot of love for the Greeks and I rock with them though. So.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking about being in a sorority, but this was not until like a year or 2 ago. I'm like, I think I want, because it's weird how they let just like well-known figures be like in sororities now. So I'm like, that's kind of different for them to kind of like let them be honoraries and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, I want to pledge, but yeah, back then when I was in college, I was like, nah, I'm not with all that.
What were you leaning towards?
I was more so into like organizations and whatnot.
No, I'm saying like what Greek or
Delta.
Okay.
I
can
know,
see that.
like
I can see that.
I know my cousin and a couple other people I know that are alpha AKAs, but I'm like, no, they too pretty for me. I'd rather be a Delta.
No, I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah. So, but weren't you doing a podcast show or like a show at one point too?
I did several. I was working with at WADL with Dr. Darius. We had a radio show over there. I was on with him.
Cool.
What else? Back in the day, I did a show with DJ Gifted at another radio station. I'm not gonna say another online station here, but we did a show together. Who else?
He's still doing radio? Gifted?
Yeah, DJ Gifted. He's over. He's actually over at Hot 107.5 right now, doing his thing over there.
Cool, yeah.
So yeah, all them Dior. I've been Dior. That's my bro. Sale.
And
They all
Sale.
got
Yep, they all
Hot
got
Radio over there. So yeah.
Still doing their thing. That's dope.
Yeah,
Have you had the pleasure to work with them too?
Yeah, man. Dior been grinding forever. We worked at WJLB together. Then we ended up working at Hot 107.5 together. I'm real proud of the growth and all the stuff that he's been able to do. Sale, that's my bro as well. We worked at Hot 107.5 together too. And Gifted, yeah. Like I've been working with them for a minute, man.
Really good guys.
Good
That's
people.
awesome. Yep. So, do you ever see yourself getting back into radio? Or you
probably not radio, but more in the podcast lane. Possibly.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Podcasting is like the big thing now. Big ups to us over here, but you know, it's like a really good thing. Like it's like really taking off for a lot of people. Yeah, to be on different platforms like Apple and Amazon and all those like major platforms. That's really like really dope to really get to that expansion. So
yeah, because you can think about a podcast. You start this show here, like as you continue to do more and more episodes, you build your fan base. You can tour and do shows off a podcast.
Okay, yeah.
So that's a beautiful thing.
And be off site, because I want to eventually be like travel the podcast. You know, it's so many outlets to make it happen. Because even like before I end up doing my own podcast, I'm like, well, what direction I want to get, do this. I can do it over the phone. I can be in studio. I can have just a camera and a mic. Like it's so many different ways you can do it. And I was like, well, no, I don't want to just be having no phone and just be on a podcast app. I wanted to have like a full-fledged studio, so I like this aspect better.
Oh, and it's super professional over here. Sound good, quality, and this video up here. You can't beat it.
Okay.
So you winning out here.
Okay, it's all in one. Book over here, like yes. So, anything else how can people get in contact with you? But is it more so by IG?
Oh, just take my number. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. No, but you can hit me up on. You can hit me up on Instagram. Like that's the easiest thing. And my Instagram is clever CLEVER the Great. Clever the Great. Everything. You can Google that. You can email me. My email. You can do my Clever Vision email. So that's clever and then vision VIZION @gmail.com. Man, hit me up, DM me, whatever. I'm not hard to get in contact with. I follow back. If you as long as you ain't on no crazy stuff,
right.
We can build. You got good energy. I want to build with you.
And make sure if you do follow him on Instagram, you can also see his follow as well, which is Clever.
Vision for Change.
Vision for Change.
You got Vision for Change on there. You got Clever Vision, and you
Clever
also
Vision.
got the Going Up Comedy Show.
Yep.
Everything is in my bio on my Instagram page, which again is Clever the Great on Instagram. Just holla at me. I want to meet you.
Oh yeah. And also too, like I think it's so freaking funny. Like I know we was talking about a couple of like a Living Color cast not too long ago, and I was just thinking back how us growing up, how things have drastically changed when it comes to TV and drama series and stuff like that. Because like back then, I'm gonna tell you what I was into. I was watching my sister and Soul Food series, and of course, you had those major movies and pockets of urban movies and TV shows and stuff. But now it's like flooded with everything. Now you have your Power, you have you have Issa, like you said.
Issa Rae doing her thing. You got
so
you had Empire for a minute.
Empire.
It's a lot of Abbott Elementary.
Abbott. I haven't watched that yet, but I heard it was really good.
Yeah, Abbott Elementary.
With Shirley Ralph.
Yep. She's
Shirley
on there.
Ralph,
I can't think of
one.
What's her name? Quinta B. Shout out to Quinta B. She came up off of Instagram viral videos and she wrote the show.
Wow.
So,
Abbott.
Yeah, Abbott Elementary.
And that was based on her elementary school, wasn't it?
It was her elementary school teacher. Her name was Miss Abbott. That played a big role in her life in Philadelphia. And she named it the show after her.
That's cool. And that show is doing really good.
Yeah, going crazy. I think just melanated people, like I just feel like we're brilliant out here. All we were missing for the longest is the opportunity
to do something.
So now we're kicking in the door. We're not just waiting on I hope I get this role. Like no, let's create that role.
And you know who else I really look up to? I look up to the Tyler Perry and the Will Packer and there's one more guy, David E. Talbert. Like the men, and it's a female too. Those three are
Shonda Rhimes. She's doing her thing out here.
Yes.
I can't think of the young lady that do
like,
Power. What's the lady name that do Power? I can't. Courtney P. No, Courtney Kemp.
Okay.
Courtney Kemp, she does Power and all those
And
series.
all these people have like resumes of just like brilliant work, and they're breaking down barriers for people like us to, get our foot in the door and put our stamp out there in the world. And like to even like see some of their work is like really phenomenal. And to their movies are out in theaters, and Will Packer and the lady from Detroit, they both were the producers of the Oscars, of this year's Oscars, actually.
That's incredible. Like we've came a long way, so it's not no more like, oh, I don't know what I can do, or if I had an opportunity. We got the opportunity now better than we've ever had.
Okay.
So you got that, you got Hulu, you got Netflix, you got everybody going crazy on Tubi right now. Like a lot of Detroit movies are doing, a lot of Detroit hood movies doing good on Tubi.
They need to hook up with All Black streaming, and it's a couple of them out there, but All Black is a really good platform too for all like urban content.
That's all we need is continue to create these platforms to get our voices heard and to be able to support those platforms.
And the gentleman that I was telling you about earlier today, that is doing the New Jack City, what's his name?
Jakarius Johnson.
He has his own streaming network as well.
Really? I didn't know that. Shout out to Jakarius. I met him here. Real solid dude too.
He has his own streaming, so it's limitless. Like it's so many opportunities, so many things that we can rub elbows with people, network with people, and just make happen, and also get our skills together. So it's possible.
Yeah, we can hire our own now.
Yep. So do you have a team, or do you do everything yourself?
I have a small team, and I'm looking to continue to build onto my team. I got a few videographers and a few editors I work with.
Oh, that's good.
But I'm always down to like I said, collab, because I realize that it's always bigger than you, and I don't have no ego associated with my project. I shot, edited, directed. Like no, I don't need all that. Like because I realize if you try to focus and concentrate on everything, something is going to lack, because you're only one human being. But if you give people that are experts in like just individual things and have them focus on that task, then you have a big blockbuster film. Like if you look at these credits on the end of the Avenger movies or any of those Marvel movies, you see it's 1 million people names scrolling down the screen.
You heard Beyonce had 24 writers. Was it 24 writers to one song? I'm like, how?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it takes for something to be great and to be timeless, is to be able to perfect it. Like, you may not need 24 writers on every song, but whatever is needed is needed. Let's do it, and stop focusing so much on stealing every, or not stealing, but getting every dollar.
Exactly.
Because it's just like, if you're just trying to get every dollar, you might be limiting yourself. Like, if you got 100% of something that made, I don't know, $5,000, right? Why not just have 10% of something that made $50 million or $5 million? I'd rather have that, and just erase the ego. Like, long as everybody play their role, play their job, like, you always win that way. And I'm sick of people also trying to be the man, like, of Detroit. Well, I'm the man. Like, Detroit ain't never been ran by one person.
Exactly.
It's always a group of people coming together. Like, whether it's the sports teams, it's never been like, we never had a Michael Jordan. We had Isaiah Thomas. He wasn't Michael Jordan, but it was teams, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, even to the Red Wings. We've always had teams of people coming together. Shoot,
we had the Fab Five.
Fab Five. They all came together. They were all rookies, but they all came together.
And after the Fab Five, we had our Chauncey Billups with all the greats together. Shoot, I miss them, but that's here nor there.
Yeah, so like, I say all that to say, like, even if you look at it on a everyday level, we got the plants, the Fords, the Chrysler, the GMs. Like, not all of them people that work there like each other, but they all go in there and play their role and get those cars down the assembly line, and that's $1 trillion industry. So it's like, that shows you what can happen if everybody just plays their role and get these jobs done, like how great we can be.
Yeah, we just all got to work together, and that's all it's about.
Facts.
Thank you so much for being here with me this evening. I really appreciate you for coming.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. I feel like I'm famous out here now.
Okay.
I told my mama I was doing this. I'm excited. Thank you. But I'm proud of you continuing to give people voices in the city and just being a light. And I appreciate you for always doing that.
No doubt.
For sure.
No problem at all. Thank y'all again for tuning in. Y'all have a good night.